Hey everyone. I was thinking that a great dating app for things in a refrigerator, I feel like it should be called CRISPR instead of Tinder.
Like that. Love it.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh yeah, I want to get into that soup. Oh yeah. Anyway, hi. I'm Jesse Bradley, and this is Storytime with Jesse Bradley. So each and every time I do this, I do an entirely improvised story based on what I believe to be true or remember to be true, because memory is kind of a weird, fallible thing. So, truth is, in terms of personal truth, is subjective, not facts. Facts are never subjective. Couple of things. I changed the names of anyone who I talk about just for their own, privacy and safety. Uh, Content warning: I have no idea where the hell I go on these things. It's a journey. I don't really prepare for them, and we're just going to come and see what happens. So, for this season, so this is my second season here doing this, and I'm going to do this a little bit differently this time. So last season, I used the gets from the previous group. Used basically listening to the previous group, figure out, okay, what kind of story am I going to tell this time? And this is where the folks who are still left behind can help me out here. We are going to access the good old story matter.
Nice.
Yes. So, well, not share, present. So, there are 12 different options. Now, these are not in the order in which the slides actually appear.
Strong.
So, if I could have someone provide me a number.
5.
Number 5 it is. Okay. And just to give you also just a frame of reference, I do these daily attendance cards on my Instagram based off of a Linda Berry exercise where it's about 3 minutes. Technically, should be doing them off of a 3x5 card or a 4x6 card, but I ended up doing them like 3x5 and it kind of stuck. So I'm going to use whatever image is up here to tell a story. And here we go. So it's February of more of March of this year, and I am absolutely just panicked. We're a little over a year into this pandemic, and I'm waiting to find out when I can finally get my first shot of the vaccine, because I'm tired of this waiting, this panic. My governor is, letting everyone over the age of 65 get the vaccine first, and anyone else with health conditions. And I go to my doctor, I go to my primary care physician, and I'm like, hey, I have sleep apnea. You should let me go and go get vaccinated, because I want to start living some sort of semblance of a life at this point. I think everyone wants a semblance of a life. And my doctor is like, no, you're not sick enough to have this shot, which is a really shitty thing for your doctor to do. I mean, maybe it's ethical of him to not do that, to not help you out. I mean, we didn't have exactly a great relationship. My visits typically consisted of after getting blood draws at this big facility, then being brought into a room, and then him lecturing about my weight and about, I need to lose weight in order for me to stop having the sleep apnea. And I need to just be better about things, because weight and health, he's one of those doctors that, he thinks weight is tied to health, and that's scientifically not true. So my fiance, stat cat girlfriend at that time, so she used pulled her doctor card as an OBGYN, and she made arrangements for me to, with her primary care physician, get vaccinated. And I ended up doing it. Getting vaccinated because of the generosity and fortune of dating an OBGYN. And I decided at this point that because because of the generosity, I'm like, okay, I think I need to actually switch providers. And I actually need to go get a physical for the first time in over a year. So I make arrangements to go and get my physical and get blood work drawn. And I haven't done this in a while, but I figured it was the right time. It's the least that I could do. And I get my blood work back. And I show StatCat my blood work. And my cholesterol is high. It has skyrocketed to a number that I was not comfortable with. Part of it was the pandemic, being in the house, drinking more than I should, eating things, basically just living in this kind of between the pandemic and getting divorced and dealing with all of that. This almost a pandemic of comfort food and comfort bourbon. And even before that, I was married to somebody who didn't take fitness particularly seriously. And I allowed myself to gain about 30 pounds and just backslide really, really heavily. And when I was told this, and then the doctor confirmed it, I had a really just very, very sobering moment of, I'm 41 years old. My cholesterol is really high. If I don't fix this, I'm fucked. Like, I don't want to be a 45-year-old dude with heart attacks. I'm not Dick Cheney. I'm not evil enough to just survive multiple heart attacks. So that's when I set a goal. I decide that part of getting better is I'm going to ride 43 miles for my 42nd birthday. I'm going to start this new tradition that I am going to ride however old I am plus one every year, starting with this year. So that way it motivates me to be healthier and be better, and maybe just maybe fix the mistakes I have made over the last several years before it's too late. And I stopped eating, I stopped eating butter and cream and cut all of that out. And I start working out more. For some reason, I only read the headline. I didn't really read much else because New York Times is paywall. And it's like, you should work out 5 hours a week. And I start working out 5 hours a week. I start cycling just more and more and getting myself like prepped and ready for this thing that I'm going to do, that I'm going to ride 43 miles for my 42nd birthday to prove that, this is my way of getting back to being healthy. So my birthday arrives and I've been having sleep issues, and I end up waking up at like 4:30 in the morning, which works out because it lets me I wake up, I eat breakfast, pack everything up, get myself ready, and I drive about an hour to this trail, the West Orange Trail. It's the best trail in Orlando, Florida. And this trail is going to let me do okay, I'm going to do the 43 miles on this particular trail, and we're going to see what happens. So I start my ride. I start doing my ride. It's about 6 in the morning. And I notice that it is sweltering out. It is just, I feel like I'm cycling through a swamp. And and I'm already halfway through my first water bottle. And I ask Siri, hey Siri, what's the humidity right now? And it's about 7 o'clock in the morning at this point. And Siri goes, it's 99% humidity. Thanks. That's just fantastic. And I'm cycling in this weather, and the sweat is dripping down my eyes and my glasses, and my hands just hurt like hell, and my back just hurts like hell. And I'm in so much pain. I'm in pain in ways that I have not really experienced cycling in a while. And there's part of me that's like, you gotta, this hurts. You've got to stop. You cannot keep doing this. You have to give up. And there's that part of me that's like, no, you cannot give up. You have set this goal. You have set this thing for you to do. You cannot stop this. And I push through. I keep going. I'm already through both my water bottles, like over an hour in. I've got my water pack and I'm sipping on it. And I'm about 20-ish miles, about 25 miles in when I finally make it to a big, like a rest stop with a bathroom and air conditioning. And I realize that the pain is just, it's too much at this point. I can't do it anymore. I gotta take a break and push through and take a break and just let it happen. So I get off my bike and I'm sitting and I'm just drinking what's left and sitting on this bench, and I'm pondering and questioning, I mean, do I keep doing this? Should I keep doing this? Like, everything hurts. Like everything, my back, my hands, just everything hurts. But yet at the same time, I'm going, you've got to keep going. You have to keep doing this. It's important. You know, you made yourself a promise, and you don't want to be the one that, you know, you come home early and you're like, hey, yeah, I didn't do the 43 miles. And I know that StatCat wouldn't have been disappointed if I didn't do it. I would have been more disappointed in myself. So I take a deep breath and I start getting myself resituated, and I get myself some, get a fresh supply of water. And I may, and just get myself back on that bike after about 20 minutes of not riding. And I just start just plowing through, just slogging through the rest of this particular ride. And the watch tells me that I've hit 43 miles. And then I realize I have another 7 to go, because my car is at least 7 miles away further up the trail. I didn't plan this very well to end at my car. I just wanted to do the 43 miles, and we were going to see what happened. So I am at this point doing the slowest 7 miles I have ever done in my entire life. It was like I was like doing my first long range ride a long time ago, like in 2014, where I'm just slow as shit. And my hands and my back ache. And I'm slowly just pedaling, and I'm slowly riding. And finally, I make it to my car, and just everything hurts so bad. And everything starts feeling a little bit better once I make it to Wawa and have myself a Wawa shorty with a chocolate milk. Best recovery meal you'll ever have in your entire life with cycling. And what I learned is, it reminded me that I can't, you know, even when things are really bad and really, just really painful, you can't give up. Like, even for a small goal like this. And to some folks, like writing, when I tell people that, you know, I did 43 miles on my 42nd birthday, I'm like, they're like, whoa, holy crap, you actually did that. That's amazing. And to me, that's not amazing. That's just something that I do. And sometimes I think about these types of things where, like, I say that I do a thing and it's not like a big deal, but it's a big deal to other people. And the fact that I actually set out to do this, that I made this promise to do this, that I did it. I actually did I did 43 miles. it took me 3.5 hours to do 43 miles, and then like another like hour to do another 7 miles. But I did it, and it was painful, but it was amazing. And I keep doing the cycling workouts and everything, and I'm working out, I'm eating healthier. I start incorporating more strength workouts because the pain from riding my bicycle, turns out it's because I have a weak core based on a professional fitter. And I end up starting to do my strength workouts just to get myself stronger, because I want to be better at riding a bicycle, be healthier overall. And I'm doing all of this work, and I have my follow-up appointment. I have a 6-month follow-up with the doctor because my cholesterol is bad. And I'm nervous. I'm thinking like I haven't done enough. I haven't done enough to take care of myself. I haven't done enough to do the things that I need to do. Like there's always that part of me that never thinks that I'm doing enough, that I've done things right. I'm always thinking I'm doing things wrong because I'm so used to in my life things going wrong that when it doesn't go wrong, I'm actually surprised. But when it goes wrong, I'm prepared for it. So I go in, I get my blood drawn, and I wait. And I wait for a couple of days, and I'm hoping that I have done everything right, because I don't want to be that person anymore who let himself go. I don't want to just be in this body that I don't like at times because because of the weight that I've gained from the bad habits that I had. That my honestly selfish motivation too is I've met the person that I never thought I would meet. And I've met her late in life, and I want to be healthy. I know it's important for me to be healthy for myself, but I want to be healthy for her because it's taken this long to find her, and I want to have as much time as possible with her. And my numbers come back, and my cholesterol has plummeted down. My bad cholesterol is down, and my good cholesterol is like way higher. And for a moment, I'm relieved that I have. Most people, when you're told that something bad has happened, or something you're not feeling well, typically they revert. They dive deeper into the comfort. They drink things because it makes them feel better, even though it's not good for you. They eat things that they shouldn't because it makes you feel better. It's just like this weird cycle that I've been in before, during my previous marriage and during this pandemic. This constant cycle of doing things that make you feel better, and yet they're going to make you feel worse at the same time. And when I got those numbers back, I was floored that for the first time in a long time, I looked at myself and I looked at those numbers, and I'm like, oh my God, I did it. This is such an amazing accomplishment. And to be able to just turn things back like that, to be able to just, when you're at the precipice of the worst, and be able to step back from that, it is an amazing feeling. So there is a quick postscript here. So about a month ago, I cycled for the first time with people. 2015, I tried to, my ex-wife and I, we tried to train to do a century. A century is where you ride a 100 miles And I was also going to graduate school at that point and working a full-time job. And I hated working up at 5 o'clock in the morning on Fridays or sorry, Saturdays or Sundays to go train and try to like get to the point of writing a century. And I think we reached 50 miles, riding at 50 miles at one point, to where I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm absolutely burnt out. And I haven't ridden with strangers in a group since that particular point. And there's this ride that was happening, the 5 cities ride. So it's riding through 5 cities here in Orlando. It's Maitland, Winter Park, Orlando, Eatonville, and Castleberry. So there's this whole loop that you go through. And I'm riding with these folks and we're chatting and I'm enjoying myself. Also a little scared because I'm riding on the road and drivers here are absolutely just terrible at driving here. I was actually hit by a car while riding my bike, legally crossing the street because they weren't paying attention to a stop sign. This is how bad things absolutely are here. And I'm doing this ride, and I'm like, in the back of my head, can we go faster? Can we really go faster? And I'm realizing that after like the 27 miles are done, I'm just going in the back of my head, this is the easiest 27 miles that I've ever done in my whole life. And to even say that, to even step back like that, it blows my mind. It absolutely blew my mind that, what, even like a year ago, I don't think I could have said that. Thanks, y'all.
Well, I'm clicking. Thanks, Jesse. My camera.